Okay, this is my crossbow. I got the idea from Homebrew. It's a Chinese repeating crossbow, so it comes forwards and cocks itself. And if you look, the bullet mechanism, that when it's hit against there, comes up, and the arrow will slide along here. When it's fired by this, which is the bungee cord I wrap duct tape around, it's kind of fading. I have to redo it to stop it from wearing out. The arms are just MDF, like I said before. Just put some huge screws in the end of there. I made this out of scrap wood with only basic materials. That's just Homebrew uses a router. I don't. I use separate pieces nailed to a flat piece to make that ditch in there. I did give it a paint job. I painted the top here, but that didn't really work because it made too much friction between like that, and so it didn't fire properly, so I had to sand it off. It was kind of a rush job because I was trying to show someone. To secure it, I just put two. I am working on a bow version where it's just a bow that straps to the front here and it actually flexes, and I just use normal string for that. I probably made this for less than £10, which is about $20 US. The only bits I had to buy were the bolts and the screws, and that only cost me, I think, about $5 US. And the wood, it doesn't use very much wood. I used a 5x3 sheet of MDF, and I could easily make another one of these out of it. I wasn't trying to be conservative, but it just turned out that I could, and I'm going to make another one, a smaller one. This is my bolt. It's not very long. I did make some longer ones. They were accurate, but they didn't have a very good range. These ones are smaller and easier to make, as I showed you, and I will show you in the firing test. I just flattened out a nail, just because it makes it easier to penetrate, and also I just super glued it in there. I just nailed in the nail backwards. It's quite hard, but then I just flattened it, and I used a sharpening stone to get an edge on it. And then this is just paper, because it has similar properties to feathers, and because all we have is dirty pigeons over here in England. I just super glued it down because it's easier, it's fast. I made this about 10 minutes ago. I fired it a couple of times. Only a couple of times it got caught on film. It has a range where it drops about 1.5 feet of about 35 feet, which is really good. And I didn't use any pre-made bow materials like some other people who just put a bow put a bow here and then just have all this mechanism. This is purely made from wood and my own initiative. I did supersize it a bit from Homebrew. He made a small one. This increases the range, but it does mean I can't have a magazine on here because the front bit comes down, so the bolts would just slide out the magazine. On Homebrew, this bit is smaller. But yeah, and I had to put some guiding things on here to stop it from coming off. It still wobbles a little bit, but that's alright. That's it. We'll just go to the firing test now. As you can see, the target is about 35 feet away. I am holding the camera on top, and I'm going to fire with my camera hand, and so it might wobble a bit. There you go. I'm just going to walk up, because then you know I'm not cheating. I'm planting an arrow in the cup. And there it is. I was actually aiming for the top of this board. There's only about a 1 and a bit foot drop between the top and the arrow. This is only my first little prototype thing, and as it's gone in, it's actually bent the nail a bit. Didn't go in that far. That's because this is really dense stuff. This is actually like a kitchen tabletop thing that we had scrap, and it makes a really good target, but it is really dense. Not like some other people who just use something similar to this, which is really thin and not plywood. It's not very dense. This could go through it. I did use this as my old target, but it was a bit small, and for demonstration purposes for the range and stuff, and so I'd often lose them in the back here where we've got all our junk. Yeah. you can see, that was a pretty solid shot. It only dropped about a foot over, I'll call that about 20 feet. And these, I made them into a kind of, I just flattened a nail and made it into a kind of broadhead thing that's not very broad. I will be giving a more in-depth look into my wonderful crossbow